Welcome back to Management Development Unlocked. I am tickled pink that you are here. I'm Eric Girard, CEO of Girard Training Solutions, a management development firm that focuses on helping new managers transform from high-performing individual contributors to great people managers. I also have an Amazon #1 best-selling book called Lead Like a Pro, the essential guide for new managers. So take a look at that on Amazon. Today, I am charmed to have Anca Enache with me. Anca, welcome to the show. Who are you and what do you do?
Hi, Eric. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm so thrilled to be here. I am an independent consultant, passionate about sustainability and doing good. I worked in corporate for 10 plus years before I realized that I wanted to go on my own. I earned certifications in sustainability and other major standards and frameworks. And the more I learned about the space, the more I realized that it's usually larger companies that are using these tools, not so much small companies. So I made it my mission to focus on small companies and have them bring more sustainability in their business. So now I team up with purpose-driven companies to identify sustainability-related risks and opportunities that could impact their business. Together, we develop a sustainability strategy with the goal of improving certain areas that can be, reduce carbon footprint or reduce risk in the supply chain or increase employee engagement. But we also can have a more comprehensive approach where we try to see how we can bring sustainability in all the core functions of the business. And in that case, we're going to build a sustainable business strategy.
Awesome. So today is all about sustainability with Anca. And fun fact, I just learned that you are Romanian. Is that right?
Yes, I was born in Romania.
I don't know many Romanians. I don't know many Romanians, so that's cool.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be among a small circle of friends that that are Romanians. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's get started. We're going to talk about business continuity today and specifically putting together a business continuity plan for your team. And this will help you ensure resiliency and efficiency in the face of unexpected disruptions. And so with that, Anca, I'd like to start with my first question for you, which is, what is a business continuity plan at the team level and why is it crucial?
So a business continuity plan helps a company function during and after a disruption. It involves identifying potential risks, developing response strategies, and establishing procedures to maintain operations. This plan is critical because it minimizes downtime, protects resources, and ensures the team can quickly recover from unexpected events. So keep maintaining productivity and service levels.
Do you have a real life example when something like this comes in handy?
Oh, I do. So when I first got involved with this tool was in 2018. So back then I was working in corporate and we had some really big fires in California. And I was going to the office one morning and the highway patrol just closed the freeway, told us to go home because of the fires in the area. Everything was closed, the freeway, businesses, everything. So we were closed that day for that time for 3 days. So at the time I was working in corporate, as I said, and it was my reporting team was in charge with creating reports daily for maybe 5 to 8 groups. And then those groups, I guess, they're serving nearly 700 to 800 employees. So it was a big group or a big portion of the company that we are serving. So for 3 days, we were not able to do any reports. So it was really chaotic to try to go to the nearest office, which was like 3 hours away, and do create urgent workspaces and handle access and it was a mess. So when it came back to work after we settled in, we started to plan our or work on our business continuity plan, because that could have, it was really bad for the company. So we didn't want to happen again. And you know what? That was, I guess, blessing in disguise, because 2 years after, when the pandemic hit, we were ready to go. We just packed one day, and the next day we opened shop remotely, and we didn't miss a bit. So
Excellent.
it was good for us, but overall not a good period. Yes, it's very handy to have it done and ready for you to.
So you've
start
got that
using it.
you've got that metaphorical binder you can take off the shelf and just start from page 1.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Great. Thank you. So there's a real life example of when you actually used one, which is great to hear. Tell us a little bit about the key components of an effective team level business continuity plan.
So the business continuity plan, I just want to first back up a little bit. In general, companies do this for their overall business. So it usually helps entire business be ready for disruptions. If it's a team level business continuity plan, it's good to be aligned to the overall plan. But in case the company doesn't have one, and this is the only the first plan you have in the company, so make it a bit more comprehensive. But again, depending on the circumstance, depending on the type of the company, you can adjust as needed. But in general, a business continuity plan has the following components. So there's a risk assessment to be done. There's a business impact analysis, resource identification, response strategies, communication plans, and regular testing and updates. So these are six components, critical components of each plan. And I can go in each of them if you want, or we can go.
No, let's go deep. So, for our listeners who maybe don't understand business continuity, have never experienced it, let's spend just a couple of moments going deep on each of these 6 things.
Okay, cool. So the first one is business risk assessment, and this covers. So you identify what risks is the business exposed to. It can be natural disasters, it can be cyber attacks, supply chain disruptions, key personnel not being able to do their function. So very wide range of scenarios. So each risk is evaluated based on its likelihood and potential impact on operations. And then the team should prioritize all these risks and identify which ones are the ones that should focus on, and how to mitigate them, and the ones that can be mitigated. And then from here, obviously some of the risks are too big or not really able to mitigate against. So it's do as much as you can. But for the ones that is in your control to do something, prioritize those. And then the next one is business impact analysis. So here you assess the potential impact of disruptions on all the critical functions in your group. So here you'll understand you'll know which tasks are essential for your team, how long the team can function without those tasks, and then so just going to focus on what's vital for your team to operate in these times of crisis. So then we go to the third component, which is resource identification. So after this business impact analysis, we can identify the resources that we need. We can do an inventory of current resources and tools and evaluate if they are sufficient for what we need, or if not, obviously we're going to bring in new or account for new resources, look for new resources. We need to identify key personnel that can help in these situations and cross-train them. And then, of course, assess dependencies. If you need to reach out to external vendors or need to establish robust communication channels for remote working, for example. So whatever the need is for that particular function, make a plan how to tackle, how to adjust or respond to what resources do you need to respond to that issue. Mm-hmm. And that brings me to response strategies. So what do you do? So here you can create backup systems for data and communications, cross-training team members. If you need to handle multiple roles, if you need to get access to different systems, if you need to set up a work remote office, I guess, in your home. If there are other protocols to follow in emergency situations. It's good to also have establish relationships with external partners to ensure resource availability. I mean, it's one thing to have a response strategy done in writing or in a plan, but you also need to make sure that the counterparts are ready and available to help you in these circumstances. So partnerships within, if this is something that happened to your team and you need to reach out to other teams to help, they need to know that you're going to reach out to them and why. And this would take me to the next component, which is communication plans. So it's critical to establish clear lines of communications because if emergency happens and you then realize that you need to get phone numbers or contact names, or if they prefer email or maybe Slack channel, or it's not the time to actually decide all this. So this have to be decided prior. Mm-hmm. You need to also make sure you update these contacts regularly because things change. Maybe new people come in new roles, or the team or the business adopts a new software, or you name it. It can be very countereffective if these communication plans are actually lacking steps. So communication won't be effective. Mm-hmm. So again, clear, concise, and timely communication, very as detailed as possible, to ensure you don't need to make any decisions in that time of crisis.
Yep. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Get it all written out, all together.
Clear if you need to color code.
Yeah. Just make it as easy as possible. Yeah, my dad was the emergency planner for Diablo Canyon Nuclear Power Plant, which you might be familiar with in San Luis Obispo. So Diablo Canyon, for those who don't know, is a major nuclear power plant in California. And my dad put together the emergency plan for it just in case something went wrong. And the level of training he had to go through to put together that emergency plan was pretty rigorous. It was pretty amazing, because you have to think of everything that could go wrong. It was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yes, it's a massive work, but then it pays off. I mean, from my own experience and working with clients, I see how damaging it is to not have one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm interested in hearing what recommendations you have.
Before we go there, Eric, I think I left out one more component, which is testing and updates.
Okay.
So I want to cover that because it's, again, critical component, because you have all the plan, but if it's not tested, you may not work. So last step in creating this plan is to test it and run some drills, because so you just make sure that every team member that is supposed to have a role is familiar with that role, with the responsibilities. In case of drills, it's good to see how people react under under fire, I guess, or under stress. When it's a crisis, you need to make sure you know where to go and what to do. So regular drills, simulate scenarios, different scenarios, allow the team to practice the response strategies, make sure they understand them, and then they're flowing right. And then if there's a weakness, obviously you need to make sure you address that. So that's what that was the last step.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Well, that is really comprehensive. That's a lot of work. So it makes sense to hire somebody who is very skilled in this. So that leads me to my next topic, which is to focus on you. Do you have a product or a service you'd like to talk about?
Yes. Sorry, Eric. I know you wanted to ask me about recommendations before I go into my product. Can I just quickly go back and just really 3 things I think is critical for a team manager to do, because so the team manager is the one that bears responsibility now for that team to function smoothly. So they need to be involved. My first recommendation would be for them to actually be involved. And if it's a bigger plan with the company, he needs to align their team plan with the bigger plan. If it's not, just make sure that it still is aligned with company's values and mission and how they are running, the business. The second recommendation would be to have somebody, maybe a champion, to make sure the plan is updated, because you are busy running the team and it's a lot to do. So you don't need to have this burden to update the plan every time somebody changes a phone number or there's a new software the company starts using, or there's a new product or service that the company is launching. So obviously that has to be included in the plan. So have somebody that can be your champion, your actively updating the plan as you go. Because again, if you don't do these updates when they happen and you do it when you regularly review the plan, you might miss out some seemingly unimportant details, but actually they'll be very maybe critical in a time of crisis. So make sure somebody is actually taking care of the plan on a regular basis. And then my third would be to have it flexible. And when you have a regular reviews of the plan, which, by the way, there was a survey or analysis, and I'm not sure if it was Gallup or which the big company did it, but 1 in 2 small companies do not have a business continuity plan. And for those that do have a plan in place, I think like 70% don't even review it often. So I think yearly or every 2 years, which is inadmissible. You need to make sure you review the plan at least twice a year, comprehensive, to see what you need to add, but maybe quarterly even, just to make sure the contacts and everything is still aligned with what the business needs are. So yes, manager really critically to be involved, have a champion to update the plan as it needs. And then the 3 would be to just have a recurring process to review and update the plan, feedback, a loop if needed. Make sure that it's a living, breathing document that you need to always be ready for you to use.
Excellent. All right. Well, that sounds really comprehensive. So thank you for the deep dive. I appreciate that. And I'm sure that folks who aren't familiar with business continuity will appreciate that as well. So do you have a product or a service you'd like to tell us about?
Well, so as I said, I'm an independent consultant, and my focus is on sustainability for small businesses and governance. This part of governance. And if you follow the space, you heard about ESG. And so this is the G part, the governance, how you govern your business. And having this plan in place is critical to have your business survive in time of crisis. So if you don't have a plan in place and you would like assistance, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And if you have one, we can review and see if it's comprehensive. If you don't have one, we can start creating one. And in general, business resilience is very can seem very daunting, but it's a necessary evil. Let's say you need to tackle it and make sure you have a good grip of it, because you want your business to survive ups and downs, and downs in this case. So I'm happy to assist with this. And then my second thing I wanted to this year is that I also have a podcast in the works. So my podcast will focus on making sustainability actionable for small businesses. And I don't have a name yet, so I'm not sure, Eric, if I can give it to you later, and then you can update the show notes with this. Or if not, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I'm sure I'll announce it there. It's going to probably something like the Green Ledger, but it's not finalized. So I'll update you. But yes, if you need help with any business resilience, sustainability processes for your business, contact me and look out for my new upcoming podcast.
Okay, will do. Thank you. Well, Anca, thank you so much for an enchanting conversation. How can people find you directly? I am fairly active on LinkedIn, so it's Anca Enache and then like _MBA. And if you look for my picture, I look similar to what I look now, so it's a recent picture. My website is 3P, so the digit 3, letter P is in people, planet, profit, so 3pimpactconsulting.com. And email Anca at 3pimpactconsulting.com, AMCA, my first name. So either one of these methods is fine with me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to engage with your audience. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much again for being here, Anca. And thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the show and connect with me on LinkedIn. Pick up my book, Lead Like a Pro, The Essential Guide for New Managers, available on Amazon. And the first 2 chapters are free on my website, girardtrainingsolutions.com. If you'd like to chat about how I can help you or your new managers, please drop me a line via my website, girardtrainingsolutions.com. And we will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.